It's time for the Bleed Lows Podcast with your hosts, Alonso and Juan, Alicia Del Valle, and the babyface gimmick in the sky, Roger.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, and all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BLEAV for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
Okay, welcome to another edition of Bleed Lows Podcast. We have with us Alex Soto, the co-founder of Pantone 294. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So, we've been trying to get this going for a very long time now. Thank you for joining us, hanging out with us, and off of some pretty big trips. But before I get started, let's just define what is Pantone 294.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I know we've been going back and forth for like 8 weeks trying to get this happen, so we're here. So Pantone 294 is a group of Dodger fans that travel all over the country supporting the Dodgers. For those that know what Pantone 294 means, Pantone 294 is the official color of the Dodgers. So let's say you want to paint your house Dodger blue, you go to Home Depot, you know how there's a wall full of colors. The official color of the Dodgers is 294, so Pantone 294.
So, first of all, very clever and educational. Did not know that. Pantone 294 is the royal blue, the tinted of blue that the Dodgers use. Legend has it that you thought of that name in the shower. Like, you knew you wanted to do this. You and your friends were going to see the Dodgers. You had fun and you thought, let's invite more people. What should I call it? And you were in the shower?
So back in 2013, and during the hype of social media, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, we wanted a name that was symbolic to the Dodgers without saying the word Dodgers. We didn't want anything that was thuggish, gang related, or crew. So I'm a graphic designer. So that day I was in the shower. I was gonna go to Lids and buy a new hat. And then I just thought to myself, like, what's the official color of the Dodgers? Everybody talks about Dodger blue, Dodger blue, Dodger blue. Well, what is Dodger blue? Dodger blue is Pantone 294.
Interesting. That's so cool. Very cool. And it's unforgettable. There's nothing like it. There's not anybody going to come out with like a Pantone 297.
I mean, look, here's the thing. Every color has a number, right? For example, the Cubs is actually 294 as well. But I think we're the ones that embrace that Dodger blue.
Is that? So the Cubs use Pantone 294?
They have the same color scheme as the Dodgers, yes. But like, let's say if you go to the Mets, the orange is probably Pantone 180, whatever. And then their blue is probably like got 375, you know.
So congratulations on the success of Pantone 294. It is the largest travel group for any MLB team. So much so that, I mean, I bet other teams dread when they see you guys coming because you take over the marches. All of the Pantone 294 members that have traveled with you, they become symbolic of like, we're here, right?
So believe it or not, the team love us. I have a great relationship with most MLB teams, and I have a great relationship. Especially, I'll go on record and say my best relationship is with the Giants and the Angels. They accommodate me where I'm on a text basis now. We don't have to send emails. We don't even call. I just call them, hey, I need tickets, and here's the amount. And working with the Giants and the Angels are the best.
Interesting. So that's one of my questions is you get the tickets from the teams and what is the largest amount of tickets you've ever got for which team?
The most I've ever gotten was 2,300 tickets. That was against San Diego, but this is prior Tatis and all those players, Juan Soto. But the teams, it's hard, right? So I'm not considered a ticket scalper. Because I don't just buy tickets. We put packages together. It's the reason why I'm able to buy tickets in large amounts. But we've done 23 in San Diego. I did 2,000 in New York. I'm doing 2,000 in Oakland in next week, 2 weeks. But San Diego, Anaheim, I've done 2,100 in Anaheim. So, you know, it's like... It's one of those things that the local trips are the big trips, but obviously we're trying to, the purpose of Pantone is not just to sell tickets and make experiences, right? The purpose is to be able to build communities all over the country. So like, for example, if you want to go to St. Louis next week and it's just you going. You're gonna go there and you're gonna meet with other Dodger fans that are there for the same reason as you.
I love that. And the Dodgers, the global, right? So do you ever have fans, let's say in St. Louis, Dodger fans that live there that join you guys? Like, hey, my peeps are coming.
Of course. So with Pantone, the way we sell packages, everything's a la carte. So if you live in St. Louis, if we have planes, hotels, and tickets, you just need tickets. Everybody's welcome. In fact, we've had people come from Australia. We've had people come from Ireland. We've had people come from Japan just to go to our trips.
Interesting. And you help with not just the ticket into the game, but lodging, air, like flights, even if it's just information, just so you make it easier for Dodger fans to travel together.
So we focus on the plane, hotels, the pre-party, tickets to the game, maybe after parties. And depending on the city, we always do, like, if they have water, like a lake or an ocean, we'll do a yacht party. So everything's a la carte. You're not obligated to buy the whole package.
Right. That is so fun. And this is all just from your experience with your friends going to the game.
Look, it was never intended to be a business. It was intended to be something fun. But my passion is sports and my passion is travel. I just combine it. We made a business out of it. And look, we're not the first people to do outings to baseball games or sporting events. We're not going to be the last ones, but I feel that we were the first to do it the right way.
Congratulations. It's been very successful and growing and growing. That trip to New York, the Yankees trip, that is, I think, will you tell me, is that your biggest adventure that you've provided for Dodger fans? Because it certainly took off. It went national.
So I think 2016 was the game that put us on the map. 2016, we took over Yankee Stadium. We did the roll call. We did 2 yachts on the Hudson River on 9/11, and we just took over, right? I think that's the one that put us on the map when everybody knew us as Dodger fans, but that's when people started calling us Pantone 294. So that was 8 years ago. And in 8 years, the Dodgers didn't go back to Yankee Stadium, so people have been asking for the trip. The moment the Yankee schedule was on the calendar, people booked. I sold out New York almost a year in advance. And you're talking about 2,000 tickets, 3 planes. We maxed out 4 hotels in New York, 2 yachts on the Hudson River. And we took over Billy's. And when I mean we took over, look, we knew it was going to be big. We didn't know it was going to be that big, to the point where NYPD came looking for me. They knew who I was. We had a sergeant who was like in basketball shorts and a T-shirt. He was like, "Are you Alex?" I need to talk to you. So at the moment, I thought they were going to just shut it down. Right. In fact, it was the other way. He's like, "Hey, you've been on our wall for the past week. Just want to talk to you. Just let them know what's going on." So I pretty much told him, "Look, we're going to march. We're going to go left. We're going to march for 10 minutes. And he's like, "Cool, how can I help?" I'm like, "Well, what do you mean? How do you help?" He's like, "Yeah, what do you want?" I'm like, "Can I get a police escort?" He's like, "Yeah, done deal." He called this lieutenant. And next thing you know, I'm talking to the captain. And next thing you know, it's like roughly between 5 and 10,000 people are there.
That blows my mind, that number, because Pantone didn't take 5 to 10,000 people. Did other Dodger fans join in? How did you end up with that number?
So here's the thing. So we sold 2,000 tickets. And keep in mind, we sold out a year in advance. So for about a year, we had people calling us, emailing us, DMing us, calling, "Do you have tickets? Do you have tickets? Do you have tickets?" So that same people also ended up buying planes, hotels, the boat party, and just calculating on how many people were able to fit on Billy's. We figured out the square footage on Google Maps. We took an aerial photo of how big the march was at, and rough calculations puts us at 5,000.
Wow. And I gotta let people know, you have a computer science degree?
Computer draft and design.
Right. So this brainiac here, you have the knowledge, and you left that behind to pursue Pantone 294.
Yeah, so I used to work at 99 Cents Only store. I used to design all the warehouses and all the new stores. And it got to a point where when I got let go, it was, am I going to go find another engineering job, or am I going to go full-time with Pantone? So I decided to go full-time with Pantone. I invested all my money, and here we are.
And next thing, you're taking over New York?
New York, it was, I don't think we'll be able to duplicate what we did in New York. The only way we can make it bigger and better is doing the exact same thing in the World Series in New York.
Amen. From your mouth to God's ears.
It's gonna happen. Look. Can you imagine a Yankee Dodger World Series?
Oh my gosh. MLB drooling.
Everybody's gonna be there.
Well, that's gonna bring me to one of my next questions. The Phillies. Supposedly, they're the team to beat right now. You know, Dodgers National League West. And even with all of our injuries, and the Dodgers are still in it. They're going to be there for the postseason. Now, whether they go forward, that's what we're hoping for, right? Have you done a Phillies game, and what were those fans like compared to the New York fans? Because I've been to those stadiums, and they could get kind of rough.
So I'll tell you this. So back in 2019, we did a 2-for-1 trip, and what we call a 2-for-1 trip is when you go to two different cities. So we went to Boston, took 1,800 people. From Boston, we took 1,200 people. We took 7 buses to Philly. We took, I think it was like 1,500 people. The Dodgers won I think it was like 17-2. So like the stadium was empty. Look, in 15 years, I've never had a fight. I've never had an incident. Never had anybody been arrested. There's never fights when you go on trips, right? People, there's that stigma that Dodger fans are ghetto, that we're gonna stab you. Don't go to the games. None of that happens. Most of our trips are kid friendly, and we've never had an issue. But Philly's nice. I like the history in Philly, even though the stadium's not near downtown. But it's one of those stadiums that when we went, it was just empty. Again, most of the fans were gone by the 5th inning. So after the 5th inning, everybody left, and again we won like 17-3, and it was one of those games that we're going back next year. If it lands on a weekend or maybe like a Monday Tuesday game, we'll be in Philly.
When I went many moons ago, it was a hot team and it was sold out, and it was like an NFL crowd. Like it was like a football crowd, and luckily we were females. So the razzing was gentle, but I got the vibe of like, these are like football fans at a baseball game. That's just my experience in Philadelphia. In fact, I got yelled at on the streets, "Fuck Manny Machado," and I was like, all right, I'm in Philly.
You know what? We didn't have that. Again, everywhere we go, people expect that, right? We're just having fun. Look, no one's going to go up to us talking smack when there's like 100 of us, right?
Right. It's true. So there's strength in numbers, but congratulations on never having any fights, because there's some partying, right, that goes on, and when there's alcohol, things can change. Is it fair to say that Pantone 294 is definitely a party? Like, you're there to have a good time, but that includes, I mean, when are we going to see a Pantone 294 tequila or a beer or something?
So actually that's in the works.
Really?
We've been working on it for almost 3 years. One of my partners owns 7 million agave plants in Guadalajara tequila. We've been working on it. I've already leaked that we're doing it. Okay. We're currently in the paperwork in Mexico, right? There's a lot of paperwork, and when I mean a lot of paperwork. So we've been filing paperwork for the past 7 months, and I think we're almost there. I think we'll probably have a final product in 7 months by the end of the year.
Very cool, and we definitely.
I can leak the name. It's gonna be called. It's gonna be called Siempre 323.
Okay, say it one more time.
Siempre 323. Always 323.
And then I love that LA love all day, and I feel like Bleed Los is gonna need some samples to review it properly, right?
Of course, for the podcast.
There we go. We're gonna have a separate podcast just for tasting.
It's gonna be. We're gonna have Blanco, Reposado, and that's it for now.
Okay, so not gonna go the añejo yet.
Añejo just takes a long time. We might do like limited edition drops, but the añejo is a little bit more. It takes more time to make.
Separate batches, maybe.
Exactly.
Oh, fancy. Well, congratulations on that. We'll be looking forward to that. And then you can take your own tequila on trips with you.
Of course, that's part of the thing, when we do it, Chims, going back to your question, saying about do we party? Of course we have fun, right? But we're a family too, there's been instances where people, a little bit intoxicated. So what do? Hey, cut them off, give them some water, take care of them. And we when you travel by yourself, you're never alone. You show up as a stranger, you meet friends, and those same friends become family. We all take care of each other.
Yeah, I've seen that on some of the posts, how there were friendships made at games many seasons ago, and now they all enjoy traveling together, and they met through Pantone.
Yeah, that's exactly the motto, right? You show up as a stranger, you meet people. It's up to you, right? If you're shy, no one's gonna talk to you, or you just gotta open up, go with an open mind, and you meet people. We call it the Pantone effect, where you go to a trip and then you'll see somebody from elementary or somebody from middle school that you haven't seen in 10, 15, 20 years, and here you are going on Pantone trips, supporting Dodgers. You're there for the same reason, and we're all from the same city.
I love it. Hence the name of your tequila, Siempre.
323.
So I think I cut you off when I was asking about your favorite stadiums. Well, I Did I ask that question? I guess I wanted to lead into that when I asked about Philly. Sorry. So your favorite stadiums and your worst stadiums out of all Pantone has traveled to. Go.
I think history-wise, I love Boston, Fenway Park. Favorite atmosphere, no doubt, San Francisco. It's got whether the Dodgers win or lose, San Francisco first pitch, last pitch is always great atmosphere. Best backdrop, I would say Pittsburgh. Least favorite, oh man, experience-wise, Dodger Stadium sucks.
Really?
Experience-wise, right? There's a big parking lot. There's nothing to do before or after the game. I would probably rank it 27th. I think Oakland is worse. I think Angels is worse. But let's see.
You're saying experience in terms of before and after the game.
Of course, like when you go to different cities, you go to Boston, you go to New York, Chicago, San Diego. There's hundreds of bars and restaurants around the stadium. You go before and you go after. Dodger Stadium, it's parking lot. By the time you're out, you're there for about an hour. Next thing you know, you're out the gate. You want to go home.
Well, as a diehard Dodger fan, I would say the experience is in the stadium.
Experience is different, right? In the look, I think beautiful overall experience, right? If we're talking about stadium, Dodger Stadium is the only stadium that's symmetrical. It's the same left or right, and it's one of the most beautiful stadiums. I was talking about experiences, right? Before
That makes sense. Because that's what you're about. The Pantone 294 is about the entire experience. From the moment you put on the Pantone caps and the merch, you're like, let's all have a good time. Whether you're getting on a bus, an airplane, or you drive yourself because it's a la carte. I've not participated in one, so I'm just trying to understand how it works. And now I know that you get the tickets from the stadium. You're not about the resale. You're not a ticket master. You're about the experience, right? So you just told me about your least favorite experience overall. I want to talk about food. Like, I love the food at San Francisco Stadium. I know the hated ones.
Garlic fries.
Right? The lobster sandwich. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. You know what? Arizona has great food too.
Okay.
You know what? Everywhere you go, beers is only like $6. I think at Dodger Stadium we pay like what, 18, and then like $36 for a michelada.
Yeah. The Dodgers get away with it because they have such loyal fans, us, and we will pay. So, it's America, capitalism.
It's part of being a Dodger game, right? A Dodger fan. Like when we travel, our prices always triple. Like if you go to, let's say we're gonna go to Chicago and watch the Cubs play, we're paying $100 a ticket. But it was the Angels versus the Cubs. Tickets are gonna be like $23, right? It's now that we have Otani, prices have just skyrocketed everywhere you go. But luckily for us, we're still selling tickets. It's something that especially for this season, we sold out almost the entire season before the season even started.
Wow. And so just to recap, what you have coming up, right? You said you mentioned Oakland.
Next week we're going to Houston. Then after that we're taking 2,000 people to Oakland, and then we're doing St. Louis. Then we're doing Arizona at the end of August, and then the last trip is going to be Atlanta and Angel Stadium.
Interesting. Atlanta, that's one I've not done. I regret not going to the Pittsburgh one because I've heard that stadium is awesome.
It's beautiful. Just like when I went, like cotton candy skyline in the background with the city and the bridges. It's nice. It's probably my best one. Yeah.
Clemente, I gotta go. So I don't want to cut you off there. Let's talk what's next, not just in the upcoming trips that have already been booked, but how does Pantone 294 keep growing? Are you gonna go to other sports? Are you gonna do maybe supposedly a Japanese trip? Is it happening or not? Are the Dodgers going to Japan?
So there's a lot of things going on. Like a lot of people say that congrats on your success and you guys made it. Honestly, I think we just started. There's a lot of things on the pipeline that we're working on. One of them is a tequila. The other one is we're working on a bar. So we have the audience, we have the money, we have the liquor license. So we just need a location. So if anybody out there has a location that could host us, there's a lot of locations in LA, right? But we got to find the perfect one. It can't be too big, can't be too small, and it has to have parking. So there's not that one Dodger bar in LA that everybody knows that's a Dodger bar. Right. That's what we're going to work on. Another project is, yes, we're going to venture off to other sports. Before COVID, I had a company called Fancation where we did the same thing for other teams. But right now, me and my partners are going to focus on doing a soccer group. called Banda 12. It's gonna be similar to Pantone. We're probably gonna go do watch parties. We're getting ready for the World Cup, right? We're gonna do watch parties, merch, try to go events, tailgates. So it's in the makings. It's early. It's on the early stages. We're currently working on the logo. We have something in mind, but I think we're gonna be launching like in 2-3 months.
And what do you say to the haters who call Los Angeles, oh, they're not a sports town. They don't have sports fans. You have the numbers to back up. Yes, we are.
Of course we are. I think we're not a sports fan. We're a championship city. Right? If we don't win the championship, it's a failure, right? Why do you think everybody wants to come to LA? We have the perfect weather. We have the audience. Look, I'm not talking smack on the Angels. Go to an Angel game. It sucks. Why do we lead the majors in MLB attendance? It's a Dodgers, right? A lot of people say that LA is not a sports fan, but it's 100% it is. Like everywhere you go, whether it's Lakers, even the Clippers, they sell out everything. It's a title town.
Right. The LAFC, Galaxy.
That's crazy, right? LAFC sells out every game. And if you sit on the supporter section, how are you gonna hate on the 32-52? Like just standing there, it's crazy.
There are people now saying they aimed too low. Their stadium should be bigger.
I agree. Not only that, look, the one in Carson, it's small. They don't even fill it out. But I think what's it called now? BMO Stadium. It could have been a little bit bigger.
Right. I know they created it to look like a European stadium, the style wise, but size wise, I just don't think they saw how popular. And they win, like you said, LA City of Champions. The winning, it's like the proof in the pudding. There's gonna be fans that show up, and then the more you win, the more fans you have. And so there's been problems with accommodating how many people want to go to an LAFC.
It's one of those things that they always sell out, right? It's always going to sell out. And the good thing about LAFC is that they're in LA. They're in downtown, right? So they're a true, authentic LA team.
Right. I mean, look at the game sell out at the Rose Bowl, the Tráfico. So
4th of July. I know. I went last year. I didn't go this year. I spent it with my kids, but last year it was. The only thing about the Rose Bowl is it sucks. Right? It takes you like 4 hours to leave the stadium. It's just brutal.
Yeah, and then if you leave at nighttime, I always have like wet, soggy feet, and it's cold. I'm talking the football games. Like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm a Coliseum gal. I'm a Trojan. I'm biased. Well, I know we've kept you for a while, but I do want to round back. I hope you're not avoiding the trip to Japan. Is that happening? I want it on the record, Alex. Right here, Bleed Los. Okay. Are the Dodgers going, and are you going to be taking a group to Japan?
All right, so I'll say this. There's reports online stating that the Dodgers are no longer going to be going to Japan for 2025 for opening day. I confirmed that I spoke to the Dodgers CMO last week in person, and I asked him, hey, is it happening? He's like, of course, well, why wouldn't it happen? I'm like, well, there's reports out there saying that the Dodgers aren't going to be playing in Japan. I'm like, and he straight up said, you watch the internet too much. So I asked him, so can I start planning? He's like, of course. So we started planning. We're working with an airline. The only thing we're missing is hotels. We already have Disneyland planned, Disney Sea planned, go-karts, sumo wrestling, a trip to Mount Fuji. And we don't have tickets, right? Tickets are going to come. I think the games are in March, so that means the tickets are going to come out November or December. But hopefully this time around, we weren't able to get tickets for Korea. But despite that, we still took about 1,000 people to Korea. I'm expecting 2,000 people for Japan. So yes, we will have packages, and everything's going to be sold a la carte as well.
My goodness. So you heard it here first. Start planning. Start learning some Japanese.
March 13th through the 21st. Those are the days.
I love it. I'm excited. That might have to be my first Pantone trip.
Let's go. Let's book it.
So now that we finally got you on one episode of our Bleed Los pod, you're officially a friend of the carne asada. You bring the tequila, we'll bring the carne asada. Before we let you go, we ask all of our guests about tacos. We are not just about baseball, Dodger baseball, but we love to eat. So you are from Huntington Park, born and raised Southern California guy. You've been all over, traveled up and down this state. Where are your favorite tacos when you are craving some tacos? And what kind of tacos?
I'm going to be biased just because my friend owns the taqueria. I love Jason's Tacos on Whittier Boulevard in East LA. Look, I don't care where you're from. The best tacos in LA are in either Boyle Heights or East LA. I'm biased. I'm saying Jason's Tacos.
What do you get?
There's two. If I'm craving tacos, I always go with bucho al pastor, or I'll do an alambre of carne asada.
Nice.
So an alambre is kind of just like you get a chunk of meat mixed in with onion and melted cheese, and then you get tortillas and you make your own tacos. So you kind of just like scoop it up. But Jason's Tacos, East LA, the ones to go.
Okay. Now we know where to find you after a game.
You know what? Like, just because I also live in the Arts District, I like Avenue 26.
Yeah.
That's the one everybody goes to after, whether it's a Dodger game, Laker game, an LFC game, Friday, Saturday nights. Avenue 26, that's the spot to go.
Yeah, that is the spot where we see. I'm going to probably see you there then.
I'll be there.
Thank you, Alex.
This episode has been brought to you by Bet Online. The game starts here.